Good evening, friends, and welcome to an exciting session with Major General Sudhakar ji. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Jaydev, and thank you. Good evening to you, and greetings to all your viewers.
Yeah, so thank you. And see, as the Iran-US war has entered the 11th day, now there's a major development that Iran has allowed Indian flag vessels to pass safely through the Strait of Hormuz. So this is in fact, a huge development, isn't it? Since they are blocking the Strait of Hormuz, now they're allowing Indian vessels to pass through.
Yeah, this is a this is a very significant contradiction which is visible to one and all in the world order, and I would say this is the hallmark of diplomacy of India. While on one hand, countries have been playing games with India, but India has actually gone beyond all this and struck a great deal, and that's how the oil is able to come through Strait of Hormuz. There are a couple of issues. It highlights the following. Firstly, um, the war which was perpetrated or unleashed on Iran on 28th of February was most unethical, irrational, as per my opinion, and most unexpected. Not that by no means am I trying to say I am on the side of Iran or on the side of terrorism, not at all. I'm on the side of some rule of law. If there is no rule of law, then nothing will move in order in the world. If the superpower and Israel together, they can actually violate the basic sanctity of a diplomatic exercise which was in progress. And the interlocutor has gone to the extent of announcing publicly that they have reached a final solution. There was no reason to justify, knocking off the head of a state along with 49 leaders. And more than that, almost over 168 or 170 girl children, school children, they have been killed brutally. So these things, under these circumstances, a thing like this happening is actually not acceptable in any form or any justification. And the vessel which was sailing south of Sri Lanka, I would say not very far off from Indian coastline, yet it was out of EEZ. When I make this comment, I don't mean to cast dispersion. I have raised the issue that strategic silence, unless it is thought through, the pros and cons, the cost benefit analysis may turn out to be detrimental in the long run. India may land up losing credibility. So, in this backdrop, when I say that India imports 83.67%, sorry, 87.7%, or say close to 90% of fuel from outside, it's a big percentage. And out of that, from the Middle East, India imports more than 40% of crude, 60 to 65% of, you can say, this is the liquid natural gas, and almost 90 to 95% of the cooking gas. And that is how the country, despite being so proactive, yet we can feel the pinch. Indian kitchen is feeling the pinch of the conflict which is going on in the Middle East. So, under these circumstances, Iran and India, we have had the best of relationship, or if not best, at least not bad relationship. We have had good relationship. While the conflict was on, still we had the Iranian Navy participating in a exercise in Vishakhapatnam. USA was supposed to be participating, so as many other countries, 58 or more than 58 countries. So, under these circumstances, India has actually negotiated very well. It's a compliment and kudos to our diplomats, the Minister of External Affairs, and our leadership. This is a great show, and I think it will go a long way in achieving many more things in times ahead. On another hand, we have been allowed, this is the expression used, you do not allow a sovereign democratic republic to buy oil from Russia. The country decides. It's a country with a population of 1.45 billion. So these are all master strokes which are happening. And also in the same breath, let me share that we have had a very profound deal with Israel for technology transfer, and you have state of the art equipment coming. People may raise queries and questions as regarding the date of visit of Narendra Modi. When Narendra Modi went there, he didn't know that the conflict was going to unfold in this manner. That information came in a jiffy, and they wanted to capitalize USA and Israel. So I think it's a very win-win, and things are moving very strongly in favor of India. And again, let me give a disclaimer. People who will be listening, they will think that I am a pro BJP. For me, there are no parties. There is only one party. That is the national interest. Anything that is happening to the larger good of the nation will always be spoken about and called out by me, and I'll compliment. Anything which is bad, I'll definitely put the gun on my shoulder and fire, regardless of the consequences. So, therefore, many of my very close friends they go to the extent of saying कि तूने तो BJP join कर लिया. I said I have not joined BJP nor Congress. These parties, I am a military man. I'll remain apolitical till my last breath. So it's a good achievement. Congratulations to India and the India's leadership.
Yeah, Sudhakar ji, now Trump says that the war is nearly ending, according to Trump at least. But we know that's not the ground reality, right? Iran is not going to give up so easily. And they hit Oman, very badly, the oil, refinery there. And my concern is that now, since India sources a lot of its natural gas from the GCC countries like Qatar, UAE, Oman, where do we go for our LNG and natural gas?
You see, you are right when you say that the war is not going to end very soon. But I am very clear that Iran is not going to give up that easily. It will fight till the end. The self-esteem of a nation gets not decimated; it is obliterated when the head of the nation, along with 49 leaders and preceded by so many other leaders, are uh, knocked off in no time without any warning. And a ship which is sailing 2,000 miles or 2,000 kilometers away from its coastline is also torpedoed. And much against the basic ethics of warfare, basic ethics of, I would say, military science. And under these circumstances, the easiest solution for India is to buy whatever we have been buying till now from the Middle East. But if the Middle East option is closing down, that means we have to look around and diversify our other options. So, other options are one is Russia. And I don't see, let's not wait for these kind of messages that India has been allowed. India's requirement and procurement of the crude and oil and gas will be dictated by the demands of the people. It is a country of more than 1.45 billion population. Let it not be dictated by one man in the world. So if we have to buy all this from Russia, by all means, regardless of the tariff, the same tariff will actually blow back on the face of Donald Trump if it doesn't actually see through. It's not dramatics or rhetorics for India. It is a necessity. It is a inescapable necessity for the survival of the people of India. And those who cause problems for India, they will be the first one to step into the ditch themselves. So we don't have to do anything. Now, coming to the core issue that you are uh, asking, how much from Russia? As much as possible. But more than Russia is also we have options like West Africa, that is Nigeria. We have other options of Latin America, Australia, and our own production. Now that this stress has been felt and this challenge has come in a very unpredictable manner, India needs to actually look within. Again, I'll say, whenever you plan for the future, have a short term, medium term, long term perspective. Our year on year requirement of oil is increasing by 8.7 to 8.8%. If that be the kind of increase, government of India is taking the right step in the right direction, and it has started carrying out extensive survey. The new oil rigs should be starting off in Andamans very soon. We need to explore onshore and offshore wherever it is feasible within India, and also explore the possibility now that we have heard about Reliance being given a big offer to establish a um, oil refinery of shale gas in USA and Texas. That also could be opening up a new avenue. There is no harm. There is a big plan, big design behind all this. The big design is to push back China as much as possible because the bigger dynamics are not visible to the people. No one is asking who's benefiting from the Middle East. There are different versions for different people. People may say that America is actually going down the drain. It is not benefiting at all. The current conflict, which is ongoing, for all you know, today we are talking. Today is not the 11th day. This is the 13th day. It started from 28th, and today is 12th of March. So it is 13th day of conflict going on in Middle East. At best maximum, people say it will last for another week or so. I am saying be prepared. We almost all of us were talking in the same manner for the Ukraine Russia uh, conflict. Everyone started saying it will last for 7 days, 10 days, 15 days. I am the only one who stuck his neck out and said not less than minimum 10 years. Minimum. So people started laughing. If not 10, at least it's going to cross. It is. We are on to the fifth year now. This is the fifth year. So, therefore, to say that the conflict is going to end is a very optimistic note. Everything doesn't happen as per the optimism. So, one has to actually understand and be prepared for the worst events. What is the worst eventuality? The worst eventuality, if the conflict doesn't end as speculated or as surmised, and so, are we able to sustain and meet the challenges of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz? Even if the Indian ships and the vessels are being allowed, every day is not going to be a Monday. So, we have to be prepared for the worst eventuality. You never know. America has not shown its teeth, and America's capability is also questioned because the strategic reserve in terms of Patriot missile, in case of interceptors, are depleting by the day, as against 1,500 to 2,000 interceptors, which the Central Command of USA is supposed to hold. They are holding just about 600 interceptors, and less than that are the Patriot missile. Every Patriot missile and the interceptor or the Tomahawk missile, which is being fired here in Middle East, will actually deny those many missiles, interceptors, and other projectiles for a war against China. Should China go in for Taiwan by the end of the year? Because that comes under Indo-Pacific Command, which is at Hawaii. Hawaii is also running out of stock. And Iran has applied the theory of, you call it what, asymmetric warfare. In the asymmetric warfare, it is applying the Muhammad Ali's uh, that rope the dope doctrine or rope the dope strategy. What is rope the dope? Rope the dope strategy of Muhammad Ali is to you allow the enemy to exhaust or the opponent to exhaust all its strength and spend all its capabilities, so that when it is tired, totally fatigued, and already giving up, that is the time to give a knockout punch. And Iran has just about implemented that. So let's not underestimate. Talk about its drones costing $20,000 per piece. That is, I'm talking about Shahid 136 kamikaze drones, and they have got 86,000 stockpile. Their production rate, surge rate is 400 pieces per day. For a month, it is almost 12,000. And missile people have been saying 3,000, 3,000. I have been saying, do not discount the old missile. People have been countering me by saying that old missiles, they retire. My dear friend, people have to understand whenever they retire, there is a method of cannibalization. You can rejuvenate the old missiles. That is what they are doing. They're following the doctrine of saturate attack. What is saturate attack or saturation attack? Saturation attack is driven by two principles. One is the volume, and second is simultaneity. They may not fire every minute 24 into 7 into 365, but wherever they fire 10, 15, 20, they fire in one shot in volume. The plenty of volume. There is no simply no gap for Iron Dome to intercept. And they make use of the old missiles just to fill the volume and the simultaneity. At the same time, they fire 200, 300, 400. They actually, punch in with the drones, the cheap drones. To tackle one drone, they require minimum one missile, which costs $4 million. And as a military man, let me tell you, you cannot neutralize one drone with one missile. You have to fire minimum 2 to 3 missiles. That means 12 millions to $20,000. Look at the ratio, how it is working out. It is going to be cost prohibitive as far as America and Israel are concerned. They are short of interceptors, they are short of patriot missiles. The American bases have been damaged beyond repair. They have been pushed out. The troops have been pushed out from. What is Iran's demand? Iran is wanting, it is giving a clear cut message that don't even ever dare come back to the Middle East. If you come back, all the neighbors are going to be hit again. Okay, so that is the kind of message which Iran is giving, and it's. I'm not saying it is invincible in comparison with USA and Israel. Those who haven't studied the subject in detail, gone into the details, they will always, hold my. I have got an article, couple of articles published on this. I had forecast. They launched this attack on 26th or 28th of February. I think 21st of February. My first article was published. It had given out how America is coming into a trap. And everything is happening as actually predicted in that article. The next article was 3, 4 days back. Again, it is giving out how Iran is winning the war. So these are based on very deep study, research, and lots of podcasts, listening to CIA retired officials, and having had interactions with them informally at different places whenever I have visited as good friends. So it's going to be a very win-win, favorable thing for Iran in times ahead, and India must actually maintain a very diplomatic relationship with Iran, because Iran is more than a neighborhood. Okay, so I have held back my comments. So, strategic silence, if it is not thought through, it may be highly detrimental, because here is a nation not with 10 million or 2 million, 20 million people. Here is with 1,450 million people. That is the magnitude and enormity. So, a sentiment and feeling of this country must be taken cognizance of by the greatest power in the world. They simply cannot, bulldoze their way through and ignore the sentiments and the emotions of the nation. This is what I'm trying to say. Back to you, Jay.
Also, Sudhakar ji, for Pakistan's LNG imports, Qatar and UAE, account for 99% of Pakistan's LNG imports. Also, countries like Japan, 70% of the needs come from Middle East for Japan. So all these countries, especially Pakistan, are very severely affected, isn't it?
Pakistan is gone. Pakistan is gone. No matter what they do, if you play double games like this with your neighbor, everyone, who else is there? Saudi Arabia is asking Pakistan to launch attack against Iran. Okay, because of their standing agreement, Mutual Defense Act or something like that. Will Pakistan do it? If Pakistan does it, just imagine the kind of melee that it will be opening up, a new front. As it is, Pakistan was frontless, I would say. So it doesn't have any front. Whichever side you want to punch, you can punch it. So it's gone. Today, Pakistan does not have any reserve. Its army is totally standstill. It cannot move. Okay, 4 days, only 4 days. So, be it ammunition, be it your logistics, be it your fossil fuel or gas, or the aviation turbine fuel also is very limited. On top of it, they go and carry out air violation and go and hit any target they feel like in Afghanistan. That's also not going to do. The Taliban is not going to give up so easily. You have Taliban there on one front. You have Tehrik Taliban Pakistan here. You have Baloch Liberation Army there, and you are being compelled willingly. They have extended the support. Will support you. They are telling Saudi Arabia. They want to get into the battle. अरे भैया अपना जो भीख का कटोरी है वो देखो. Do you have enough to survive? You want to participate in this opening of a new front? It's gone. It's gone. Therefore, there are endeavors. Let me also tell you that Saudi Arabia, for the first time, much against the fact that Iran is its arch rival, Shia Sunni, you understand that dynamics. They have been fighting for donkey's years, 1400 years or more, but to be more precise, it's 13, 14, 6 years. And from Karbala days to now, and this conflict will go on in this manner. It is not going to, it may finish off this one, maybe another couple of days, but between Shia and Sunni is not going to end. And in order to bring it to an end, Saudi Arabia is a country which is the most serious and arch rival of Iran. The Crown Prince has adopted a tactic, has intensified its effort to make diplomatic connections with Iran and plead with them, virtually plead that bas karo, because they have been hit. Their survival is at stake. I'll come to the next point. Why survival is at stake? They have said that now you please de-escalate. You de-escalate because you are going beyond a limit beyond which it will be detrimental not only for Iran but for all. Nobody, people will cease to exist in. No one will come. It will not going to be an economic hub as it is being contemplated to be. No one, after this unpredictable war which is broken out, no one is going to put money in Dubai or such kind of hubs. So there is a diplomatic move going on there. There is also move between the coalition partners within the Arab nations, Qatar, Kuwait, UAE, Saudi Arabia, the big four. They're getting together. They're making alliance of. They should have by now. They have got 3 to 4 trillion US dollar invested in infrastructure, in healthcare, in insurance, in pension funds, many things, renewable energy, okay, and host of other things, innovation, research, science, technology, etc., etc. They have decided to pull out this money and bring it back and invest wherever they wish to. If 4 trillions are pulled out from USA now, they have a debt of how many? $38 trillion. Every year they have to dole out 1.2 trillion for servicing the interest. Plus to run the country, they require 6 trillion. They have got a revenue generation of 4 trillion, 2 trillion deficit there, 1 trillion plus here. How do they survive? And this is going to come out from here. European Union countries are ganging up. They are planning to pull out their $10 trillion. European Union countries have got 10 trillion, maybe more, not less, invested in the US for different purposes. So has other countries. Gradually, China has brought down its investment in treasury, USA treasury at one point in time, at the peak time of 3.3 trillion. Now it is down to 600 something, 600 or 700 billion dollars. So USA is in a mess. Donald Trump is, I don't know why he is not thinking or he is not paying heed to. There is a natural call from within. You are the father figure, you are the leader of the nation. Nobody wants a superpower to fail like this. We also want superpower to remain. Something is better than nothing, in my view. But carrying out such indiscriminate, arbitrary actions without having thought through the implications and the consequences are very, very dangerous. He is playing with the people of America. He is to take note of all this and take a very serious introspection. Otherwise, he is harming not him, his own people, whom he has given a commitment during the election campaign. So that's it. Anything more you want?
Yeah, just now my question is Iran fighting a religious war, or is it Iran fighting an economic war against the Middle East and US?
See, neither of the two. I'll say neither of the two. It's an ideological war. Ideology. What is Shia and Sunni? Those who are non-Muslims, for them it is a religion. Those who have gone into the deeper aspect, I take it that there is a particular ideology. They want to protect, they want to safeguard. You see, Shia, much against how it is panning out now, they have got all the proxies, they are connected with all militants, all the terrorist organizations. Sunnis are actually fighting for survival against the same militant organization. Okay, generally you find Sunnis are more extreme kind of people, their religion, their fundamental Wahhabism is there in Sunnism, not in Shiaism. But Shias, to my extent, whatever limited understanding I have, they are fighting for the ideology, and to decimate the ideology will take a lot of time, and so it has to be a very sustainable, prolonged kind of a long-term perspective plan has to be made out to change them over. And let me tell you that it's not that things are not changing. It's not that Iran is not changing. Look at the demographic profile. At one point in time, they had almost 40 to 50% people in the rural areas. Okay, now it has come down to 27%. It is further going down. People are migrating to the cities. And those who are migrating to city, the awareness level is high. Their connectivity with the world information is better, and the attitude of the people is changing. There is a growing realization amongst the people that democracy is the liberal democracy is the need of the hour. You cannot be stifled and you know what do you call that, suffocated in a very tight environment of Sharia law, and you can't even breathe. There is some freedom, something required for survival. So not only here in Iran, all over. I've been to most of the countries in Middle East, all over, whether it is Sunni dominated countries, because most of the Sunni dominated countries, they have a minority of Shiites. Okay, so for all you know, the changeover of regime may happen before Iran. There are countries like Bahrain. There is a dominant, I think, Shiite dominant, but the Sunni leader. So there is a lot of murmur going on in such like countries. For all you know, after this may become a turning point, there may be a changeover. There people may go over to a new form of a world order, new form of governance. It may not be Sunni dominated, it may not be Shia dominated, but something is happening in Middle East, including Iran. Iran for one reason, for its civilizational ideology, for its civilizational image, for its civilizational structure, and for the last side of the country, the geography. These are all static factors. The non-static factors are actually the economy. Economy will come and go. So today, the biggest thing that I was trying to hint at is that the survival of country like Saudi Arabia is at stake. The desalination plant, there is no drinking water available there. They have to take the seawater, desalinate. There are different sections. One takes the water from sea, thereafter it is actually processed. For processing, thereafter after the processing, there is a filtration plant. Filtration goes through different stages. Power is the main requirement, the power supply. Much of the power supply is coming from the LNG gas or CNG or one of these. So if you hit one particular component, the whole desalination plant goes, and it's a high percentage. Whether it's in Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Iran itself is in deep trouble. They wanted to evacuate the people of Iran city to a different place because the water level is gone beyond the acceptable level of aquifer. So that is the survival challenge of the Middle East today, because I see a very bleak future. The dynamics, global order may be changing, and I visualize USA will be pulling back once and for all. It has to look after its domestic polity. And the new place which will come is China has already come in a big way. It was giving a pushback to China so that the old dominance of USA could be restored to. It has not happened. So the battle or the war, which will be, it is actually Israel's war, it will be left to Israel. I don't think in time said USA will have the economic capability and the military might to fight others' war. This may be the last war they are fighting. Beyond this, I don't see USA will be coming in for a direct confrontation as it has happened this time, without a political and military objective, which will be in consonance with the national interest of USA.
Yes, sir. And before we wind up, just one last question. You have a lot of rich Indians and in Dubai as well as in the GCC countries who have invested a lot there, and also it's a tax haven for a lot of them. So after, I mean, during this war, as it's going on, do you think that a lot of investors in GCC countries they will pull their money and invest in other countries? Do you see that?
The first thing I would like to say is don't panic. Don't panic. Everyone knows that Middle East is Middle East and Dubai is Dubai. In 1 year alone, they had close to 33.3 billion 2025 coming in. 1 year. Dubai and Dubai is only one. It is part of UAE. If you take every individual province into account, a hell of a lot. Their GDP is growing. They're growing at a rate of 5%. The GDP is almost crossed $606 billion, if I'm not wrong. And per capita, if you calculate, it is closing in. It's very close to $1 trillion. Not per capita, the GDP. Per capita is one of the highest in the world. So that is the kind of thing. So having seen what has happened, definitely it paints a very bleak future. It is in a vulnerable segment of the world, and Iran will continue to remain as a permanent threat, I would say, for a long time. Nothing is permanent in geopolitics or international relations. You never know, things may undergo significant change on their own. Iran may come out of its closest and says, friends, I'm sorry, do apologize. It will not happen again, and we would like to live like friends. Okay, so they may change the ideology itself. Who knows? Things may change. So, the only thing is, ki if you start, stifling the countries, start intimidating, start threatening, in 21st century, I don't think any country. North Korea has got nuclear missile. You will the last man to think twice before launching it. So therefore, it is safe. It is safe to look around for better avenues. It is no longer going to be the economic hub, as per my estimate. What these 13 days of war has shown actually, and prior to that, 12 days of conflict last year, and this kind of conflict will go on because Israel cannot actually breathe comfortably until they keep hitting. They follow the principle of mow the grass. What is mowing the grass? Like you mow your lawn, you have to mow the grass. This terrorist organization or the proxies once in 6 months, 9 months. So these kind of conflicts will go on. It will continue to remain insecure. Okay, they have a concept of octopus doctrine. All tentacles have to be weakened from time to time. Houthis, Hamas, Hezbollah, Hadel el Saib, and all militia groups, and the head of the octopus also has to be knocked off once in 6 months, 9 months, likewise. This is their concept for survival. If they don't do this, then Israel will cease to exist. If this conflict goes on beyond today, or so beyond another couple of days, then for all you know, um, uh, all the Arabic nations will come together, or Iran itself, supported by Russia and China. They will make sure that Israel ceases to exist. If that happens, if it is the survival, if it is the existential threat of Israel, Israel will be compelled to use the nuclear bomb. These are the kinds of scenario building. So Middle East is unlikely to calm down. It will remain a potential vulnerable point, a conflict zone, and therefore it will be better to for people to take a call because money is your personal earning, and you have to look around for alternate avenues. And towards that end, Indians, I would say, if you see the investment profile, okay, only of Dubai, but also it is same proportionate to all the provinces in UAE, and you find Indians are leading 21.83%, followed by USA, followed by UK, then is France. Likewise, we are the maximum investors in the Dubai. So it will do well if we pull back the money and put the money in the country, in our own country. It is rising, it is the shining spot. That's my take. I may be wrong because now people, it is your personal hard earned money. So where you want to, the other avenues which are opening up to my mind will be the global south countries. Southeast Asia is another block where the economies are actually started, rising by leaps and bounds. But India, I think, is the greatest, the best spot to pull back your money and put here. We require money for data centers. We require money for artificial intelligence. We require money for research and development. We require money for what better than nationalistic, patriotic objectives. These are the golden objectives where you can put your money and take your nation forward. That is my penny's worth.
Yeah, that was a wonderful session, Sudhakarji, and thanks for coming. And we'll see you again next week.
Take care. All the best.
Thank you. Thanks.